Hello there. Ah, welcome, everybody. I mean, there's no one on right now, but everybody in the future. And I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes till someone joins in. I'm Dr. Khushboo Shah. We have a special live today where I'm going to talk about money and entities. Money and entities, two very interesting, two almost taboo topics. It's a class that's coming up, but I'm going to be joined by my gaggle, people that I work with. Hi Jeevan. So I'm going to be joined by them because they've been helping me promoting money and entities and just putting it out there in the world, and it's nice to get their perspective of this. And also I think they have questions for me. Also, I would love to talk about it. So, two taboo topics, money and entities. Yes, I'm just gonna invite these guys in, and then we'll begin. Well, Deepanti's here. At least we can begin. Thank you, Deepanti. Khushboo's here too. Fellow Khushboo, like I like to say. Oh, Komal's here as well. Great. So all of us are here. It's going to be like 4 people on one Instagram live.
Yay!
That's interesting. Alright, thank you people for joining me for my own class that I'm promoting and then inviting you all. Very interesting live. Great. So as I was talking, what we wanted to talk about today is money and entities. Okay, so money and entities is money and entities. Okay, so I think it's a talk to the entities specialty intro class that I'm going to be facilitating very soon on the 13th. It's going to be online everywhere. Interestingly, when I go to Ahmedabad. So I'm going to go to Ahmedabad, but then it's going to be online. So it's not live in Ahmedabad, but it's online from there. Because who knows how to make more money than Guju is? So I think I'm going to be like, channeling all the Guju entities, that know how to make money, that want to contribute to you making money, and then, and as I say this, I'm not kidding. I thought I was, but maybe I'm not. So, well, okay, guys, do you have questions for me? Is there anything y'all would like to know about money and entities? Or anybody who's joining us online, which is a whole bunch of people. What would you all like to know about money and entities? Money and entities. Are there any questions? Where do we begin? If there's someone who doesn't know anything about this.
I have a question.
Thank you, Khushboo. Yes. I was like, oh my God, do you have any questions? Yes, say.
Yes, Khushboo asking Khushboo. How does money and entities even relate?
Okay. Oh, that's a great question. Okay. So everything in consciousness is related. So, I can literally relate money and dogs. But what I mean is, okay, why is it money and entities? So, are you one of them who's been aware of entities all your lives? Okay, today I had this very interesting chat in the morning. I did this drum circle for a bunch of people here in Pune, and I ended up talking about Talk to the Entities a little bit in my introduction. And I literally just said, Talk to the Entities. Okay, I just said that. I didn't say anything before or after. But just that got this one person really interested. Wait, what is Talk to the Entities? That sounds really interesting. Can you talk to me about it? And I'm like, that's interesting because I didn't really say anything. So if this is if the word entities intrigues you, if it goes like, wait, what are you talking about? What is this? There's a high chance that you've been aware of entities all your life. Okay, so when somebody goes out, and especially when they don't have like crazy shit going on in their world, but they just talk to the entities just like talking to entities. Relax, guys. It's not such a dramatic, um, drama-filled world. It actually can be very pragmatic. So when somebody talks to, or they just bring it up with that energy, and people get interested, there's a high chance. And so any of y'all out there get interested by this word entities, there's a high chance that you've been aware all your life, okay? That you've been aware of entities and ghosts and spirits. I literally mean ghosts and spirits, okay? I'm not going to ghost spirits, but anything that is defined becomes an entity. So even my house is an entity. But I'm also talking about ghosts and spirits, okay? And not in this creepy, dramatic way. Like if you've been someone who's always been aware, okay, look back when you were a child. When it wasn't so significant, you were just aware. But then we bought into so many things, watching movies, um, stories, people, and there's this disbelief, and then there's this, oh my god, and there's this whole craziness and confusion. So there's never really any education in your entity world. So, if you've been someone who's been aware, and there's a great chance that you were never really educated. So what has happened now is you've probably learned to suppress it. Okay, you've probably learned to either fear it, control it, suppress it, keep it, keep it away. You're not really acknowledging how aware you are. Okay, when you have a capacity with anything and you don't acknowledge what it really is, it then starts affecting the way you receive everything around you. Yeah. So if I have this, which I always had, I grew up being aware of entities. Like I used to sleep in my parents' room till my early 20s. How weird is that? Because there was a ghost in my room. I don't know what to do. So many ghosts everywhere I go. Anyway, but I couldn't really talk about it. It was like a joke. While it was very real to me, I literally couldn't sleep. So now, when I am aware of that much, and I am suppressing it, and I am keeping it at bay, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up rejecting a lot of information, a lot of awareness, and a lot of contribution literally from everything around me. Because I don't want to be aware of all this stuff. So imagine your spectrum of awareness, huge, okay? And then you've got this huge awareness of entities, but you don't want to look at it. So now you've got like these blind spots. Okay, so like literally blind spots in your entire spectrum of awareness. So now if you've got these thick black blind spots in your spectrum of awareness, how much are you receiving? So your receiving is stopped. Your receiving becomes less because of these massive blind spots. Okay? And money, and this is something that we've spoken about in Access for such a long time, and Gary has been saying this forever. If you have a money problem, it's not a money problem, it's a receiving problem. Okay? So now put the two together. So this is how it relates. So if you've been aware of entities, okay, all your life, and you've been suppressing it, and you've created these blind spots, that means you're not receiving anything, or you're not receiving as much as you can, which is now going to affect your money flows as well. Okay, so as soon as I said yes to the spirit world, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm not going to reject this, because rejecting it was creating a whole lot of crap in my world, emotionally, physically, and otherwise. So when I said, you know what, no, yes, when I relaxed, when I started receiving, when I started using the tools of talk to the entities, okay, which is I started clearing them, communicating with them, receiving them, cooperating with them. This entire spirit world, which is humongous, now suddenly that wanted to contribute to me is available to you, which was always available to you, but you were just rejecting it. So now there's this whole energy that I'm receiving from. So now what that is going to do is, yes, it directly gives me money as well. You know, like conducting these classes, for example, or when I get clients in. But it's not just about the money. The whole thing of not rejecting my awareness generally expanded my receiving, which also made money easy or makes money easier than before. Okay? So that is how we're relating money and entities. Alright, so if you've been aware of entities and you've been rejecting it, you've been trying to control it, or you're doing this weird give and take where if I do this for you, you do this for me. Because look, besides human, like besides humanity, nothing in nature or the universe works on give and take. Okay, it works on true contribution, which is receiving and gifting. So if you really want to receive money from entities, it cannot be a give and take, like, oh, do this. It can be, but it will just be such a small amount of receiving. If you really want to exponentialize it, you want to then step into gifting and receiving of everything that you're aware of. Yeah, so that's the other invitation of money and entities. That's how these two weird taboo topics that people love to hate and hate to love are coming together in this class that we're having. Okay. Great question. Thank you for that. And I went on and on. So any
No, that
questions?
was brilliant how you actually connected the whole entities and then the money part. Because I have done the talk to the entities as a core, but like the speciality of money and entities has always intrigued me. But I
Yeah.
always, well, it was a different kind, but like this question was always somewhere like
So
there, how
when you
you really.
say the thing money and entities intrigued you, did it intrigue you because you got excited by money and by entities?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of your first times when you're like, yeah, this sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, then you think, so good. So follow that enthusiasm. Follow that. Wait, this is possible. This is available. Money and entities. Oh, cool. I love money. I think. And this is also about like money. All right. So so do you love money or do you hate money? I hate money has such a big energy, even right now as I speak. So
Yeah.
you may get excited by money and entities and by the prospect of making money, but if you inherently don't like money, you're not going to, but you keep telling yourself that you do. If you have money problems, you don't like money. Okay? And this is something Shannon, who's the founder of Dr. The Entities, has said forever. Okay, so and which is true. So you want to also begin with that. Do you actually enjoy money, or do you like? Do you say you do, but you sort of like, I don't really like money. I wish there was no money in the world. So you want to also look at that. So we'll be looking at those points of views about money as well, and then of course your points of views around entities. Okay. So and of course what it means for you to receive money from entities. What do you think you have to do or be?
A weirdo.
Yeah, you definitely have to be a weirdo. I mean, can you believe it? I'm actually on Instagram talking about money and entities. Who would have thunk? But um, yeah, you have to be a weirdo and pragmatic um, and function from receiving and gifting. Okay. So those are some of the things that money and entities as a specialty intro can start you off in. Okay. So it's a great platform for you to really look at what does this actually mean for me? What have I decided money and entities is? What have I decided I have to be? And what if it's not what you've decided? What if it's a completely different energy? And what if it's much more easier than you think it is? And what if it's much more fun than you think it is? Both money and entities, and then money and entities together. So this is just a little, this is like your 2.5 hour deep dive introduction. I know it sounds very weird, deep dive introduction almost sounds like this oxymoron put together, but it is a deep dive introduction. So it's like a platform off of which then you can go out and start creating the money from the entities that actually contributes to you, your life, and what you actually want to create as your future. Yeah? So you also want to
So
look
like
at what you want to, yeah. Please ask.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, like,
Yeah.
just to make it a little more simpler, even for anybody else watching, like, can you give us like an example of something like this?
Oh God. It's so difficult when someone asks me to give like this one example. I did this and then the money came this way. The problem with this is it was never linear. Okay, as soon as I said yes, everything in the universe, including the entity, starts contributing to you. So everything started becoming when I said yes to the entity world. Okay, so yes, directly, like I said, I literally started having more people choosing to do Talk to the Entities classes. So that's my direct sort of correlation. Yes, this one literally came with money in hand, you know. I would have sessions. I'll be like, oh, what else is possible? Money come, and then I'll have people coming in for sessions for entities or something related to entities, or then they would choose classes. Now, these are direct. Generally, my whole life, so, like, for example, I just did, how do I put this? It's so much bigger and so not linear that I can give you direct examples, and there are many. But if you could just step into real receiving, where look at that, if you're gifting and receiving from the spirit world, everything becomes easy. Yeah. And from like the universe, you don't have too many points of view. So I went to Mexico. We were there. And just before, simple things like, oh wait, I would like an upgrade on business class because Mexico is really far away and this is like a massively long flight. Like this is like not,
Yes.
this doesn't sound fun to me at all. I need something. And I remember I'd already rejected the part that that's even possible. Like I'd already like sort of like decided in my head, it's okay, I'll be okay if I don't really do. But I was saying the other way around. So then I sat and I really just went like, no, pocket board. Like I cleared my stuff. I cleared anything that made me think it was not possible. And then there was a upgrade available for a very small amount for such a flight. Okay, for an amount that was very available and very possible.
Yeah.
So now, did the entities in the spirit world contribute to it? Yes. And did everything in the universe also contribute? Yes. If I rejected the entity in the spirit world, this also would not be possible. Now, did one entity go and like make sure something happened in honestly, I don't think that's how it worked. But like, there's so much available, um, and more, you know. And it's such a gift. Like, just talk to the entities has been such a gift. Like for me, I also work with them, and it's such a treat. It's a gifting and receiving. It's not linear. It's not just one entity helped me to do something. It is such a gifting and receiving from so many different entities and people who receive them as well. So it's like this conglomeration of crazy people.
I think the
Crazy,
best way to put with
crazy
entities
happy.
is like if someone asks me, I'm just like, well, if you die and you become an entity, like, you would be like a very pretty cool person who would be like, oh, of course, like, yellow, volo types.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much
So
how
there
it
are
is.
exactly. So there are entities are there. There is so all entities are not good. Like neither are all of them bad. So what Talk to the Entities will give you is pragmatic ways of like really getting a sense and trusting what you're aware of. Now that's the other thing that we really, since you've not been educated like conscious education in this or any area of your life, we have like sort of we don't trust our awareness. So one of the greatest hindrances to to our entity awareness is, can I trust this? Can I not trust this? Is this good? Is this bad? Is this out to get me? Is it not out to get me? Like you're so freaking confused because um you just bought into some lies and then you've got all these weird energies around you that are not really contributive that you're asking for money from, and then you fucking wonder why you don't have money. In fact, you have more lack of it now than ever before. So, so So you have to get clear about what is actually going on around you. What are you actually aware of? And are they really contributive? Do you know what contribution is like? Do you know how to perceive it? If you don't know how to perceive it and you don't trust it, then it's not going to translate to the entity world. Okay? So, and who is actually willing to gift to you? What entities are actually available, willing, capable, that want to gift to you? That you haven't actually turned to as yet because you're kind of busy dealing with some shitty entities. Uh, and so, so
Yeah.
that's another thing. So that's another thing that money and entities, the class will give you. It'll give you a way to sort of start being more aware of what energies and entities you're dealing with and are around you. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you're not very smart about it right now. We all began that, believe me. I thought there were things around me that, oh yeah, my best friend, but no, no,
Yeah.
no.
And that is something I keep telling my friends who are very sure that whenever I talk about entities, they're very sure that they're out to get them.
Yeah,
And like
yeah, yeah.
looking at them and dealing with them, they're like, no, no, you only do all of this. We don't want to look at all of that.
Which is an interesting choice, and they
Yeah.
will choose when they choose. I have a friend who's like crazy aware of entities, and anytime I put out like anything to do with entities, I know she wants to reach out. And she's like, no, that's so much fear. And well, allowance. They will choose when they choose. You know, like
Yeah.
I had to choose it. At some point, I had to go say yes. I had to get over that. And yes, it was not, oh, I said yes, and la 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 la, everything is la 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 la. No, there was intensity. There was stuff that I was ignoring for so long that there was an overwhelm and there was a build up that I had to look at. But if you pass through that uncomfortable phase and allow yourself to sort of step out and move two steps beyond it, then a world of peace is available to you that
Yeah.
you never had before. Like, oh fuck, like, are you looking for like peace in your life? This is one of
And
the
it's
classes.
so,
Yeah, one of the
yeah.
classes that can give you, amongst many other in Access. Okay, so if you want some peace in your life, you will have to get over that fear and stuff, and if you're really aware. And if you're not aware, or rather, if you're not interested right now, that's okay. What else is possible? Like whoever's interested, who's actually looking for this out there. Like if this intrigued you, if you know this is something for you, just come. Like take that one step, and then oh,
Yeah.
and then
It's like when
and
I
then
was in US, I was on 5G, and like when I'm here, I'm sometimes on 3G or 4G. It's like that difference where you're like so up to speed. Everything is so much faster, easier, like yeah, like it's like an
I'm a
upgrade.
little confused. Everything's faster, easier, where?
No, when you open yourself up to like receiving, even including entities,
Yeah.
rather than going crazy about it, like
Yeah.
oh no, and stuff like that. Like it's just like upgrading yourself where you're like, oh, now it's a faster channel. Like, oh, now my downloads are much more easier. Like, oh,
Exactly. And this is, of course, Khushboo's talking about this after having done the whole Talk to the Entities course and a whole bunch of other classes that she's done. Um, oh, money and entities can be a great platform from where you can start receiving more in this uh, direction if you've not done any access before. So, like I said, there are no prerequisites for this. Anyone and everyone can join in. It is a specialty intro, and those that have done this class multiple times, also you know that you can come again because it'll again be a whole different class. Because I want this to open up so much more. Um, how much do y'all want to receive? How much do you want to open up? Where do you want to go with this? And it's a great platform from where you can actually start receiving from both money and entities, and money and entities together. Cool.
So
So, yeah,
it is like ever since I started sharing about this class,
yeah, yeah,
and it was so interesting. It's like just money started coming in from
yeah,
expected and unexpected places. Like, okay, some was supposed to come and some I had no idea, and it just
yeah,
showed and it keeps showing up. And
yeah,
what it did was, um, like I have done the talk to the entities class and everything, but still there was this some kind of like I was still having some blind spots. So it really, like, put me in that place like, hey, get more clear.
yeah,
So it's really that space, it's like when you said a deep dive introduction,
yeah.
but like, it's a deep dive, even though it's an intro class, and there's so much more to this that cannot be put into words about this
Exactly.
class.
Exactly. And thank you for sharing that. That is pretty much how it works. As soon as you say yes,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, we've been waiting here, trying to gift to you, trying to move things around, but you're not like, not receiving. And then you say yes, and you're like, yeah, there you go. So, yeah. So join us if you'd like to receive some money from entities, money with the entities, and money and entities on 13th. 13th, right?
Yes.
13th, I've forgotten the time, but I think it's in the evening.
5 to 7.
Uh, 5 to 7 p.m. Thank you, Kumar. Um, no prerequisites. Anyone can join in. And if this intrigues you, if this enthuses you at all, um, come. Yeah. The link is in my bio. And you can also DM any one of us, Khushboo, Deepanti, Komal. You can let anybody know, and they'll give you the details as well. Thank you so much, Komal. Do you want to say something? Or
No, no, I think it's covered.
good. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And yay, maybe I'll see some of y'all in class. Or on there.
You. Someone's
Bye.
asking what the cost. It's 7,500 Indian rupees. Someone
Oh,
just asked.
great. Yes. 10,500. Everything in Talk to the Entities has a fixed price in India and all over the world. Um, anyway, so you can go check it out. And as soon as you go to the link, you'll get the cost, you get the price, and you'll get the price for your country if you're in a different country. Because, thank you, Mamta, for your question. Because Access follows country pricing, it has so it's honoring which country you're based in as well. Uh, anyway, thank you so much. What else is possible? Money and entities.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much.